What if I told you that the biggest change in your life won't come from one massive decision, but from something so small you'll almost ignore it? In fact, the habit that could completely change your future takes less than 1 minute to start. And here's the strange part. Almost everyone knows about it. Almost nobody actually does it. By the end of this video, you'll understand why one tiny habit has the power to change your money, your health, your confidence, and even the way your brain works. More importantly, you'll understand why most people never experience its effects. Imagine two people. They wake up on the same Monday. They have the same job, the same salary, the same dreams, the same 24 hours. The first person decides to improve by just 1% today. They read one page instead of scrolling for 5 minutes. They save $5 instead of buying another coffee. They do 10 push-ups instead of none. The second person says, I'll start when I have more time. At the end of the day, they look exactly the same. After 1 week, still no visible difference. Even after 1 month, you probably couldn't tell who made the better choice. And that's exactly why most people quit. Our brains are addicted to visible rewards. We expect effort to produce immediate results, but life doesn't work that way. The most powerful habits are invisible in the beginning. Think about planting a seed. For days, nothing happens above the ground. You might even believe the seed is dead, but beneath the surface, roots are growing. The same thing happens inside your brain. Every tiny action strengthens a neural pathway. Every repetition tells your brain, this is who I am. Not, this is what I'm trying. This is who I am. That's a huge difference. Most people focus on goals. Successful people focus on identity. Someone who says, I want to run a marathon is chasing a result. Someone who says, I'm a runner is becoming a different person. And once your identity changes, your actions follow naturally. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Imagine a plane leaving Los Angeles for New York. Now change its direction by just 1 degree. 1 degree is almost impossible to notice. The passengers wouldn't even feel it. But after thousands of miles, that tiny shift could land the plane in an entirely different city. Your habits work exactly the same way. 1% doesn't seem important today, but repeated hundreds of times, it changes your destination. Now, ask yourself something uncomfortable. What tiny habits are already shaping your future without your permission? Checking your phone the second you wake up, telling yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, watching one more video instead of sleeping. None of these decisions feel dangerous, but they don't need to. Small actions don't become dangerous because they're big. They become dangerous because they're repeated. The scary truth is this: you don't rise to the level of your dreams. You slowly become the average of your daily habits. That's why people wake up 5 years later wondering where the time went. Nothing dramatic happened. They simply repeated yesterday again and again and again. Now here's the trap almost everyone falls into. They wait until they're motivated. But motivation is one of the least reliable things your brain produces. Some mornings you'll feel unstoppable. Other mornings you'll barely want to get out of bed. If your habits depend on motivation, your future depends on your mood. That's a terrible deal. Instead, make the habit so small your brain can't reject it. Don't promise yourself 1 hour of reading. Read 1 paragraph. Don't promise to exercise for an hour. Do 1 push-up. Don't promise to write a chapter. Write 1 sentence. That sounds ridiculously easy. Exactly. Because the hardest part isn't doing the habit. It's becoming the person who shows up consistently. Once you start, your brain naturally wants to keep going. Psychologists call this reducing friction. The easier the beginning feels, the more likely you'll continue. It's why opening a book often turns into reading 20 pages. It's why putting on running shoes sometimes leads to a 5-mile run. Starting changes everything. So the next time your brain tells you it's too small to make a difference, remember this: the biggest changes in life almost always begin so quietly that most people never notice them until it's too late.